Joining me now, as promised, is Senator Cory Booker, Democrat of New Jersey, and a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee. Let's just start with Emil Bove, because there's such an influx of news every day. Sometimes it's hard to digest all of it. But this one, I mean, it seems pretty clear this guy lied under oath at the confirmation hearing you were at. Is there any other way to see it?
I have looked at what this particular whistleblower. I have to say that because we're getting indications that there might be other people who want to come forward
about Bove.
About Bove, but this particular whistleblower shows to me a real contradiction between what he said under oath before us and what he said in private, and that incongruency should be disqualifying, in my opinion.
It absolutely should be.
But you add to that the fact that he is saying those very words, F, you know, the whole curse, F the court orders. Like, you cannot be somebody in charge of the rule of law if you are saying and have said in a position, screw the judges and screw the judges' orders. That's something we should not tolerate. But it's even worse than that. Go back a number of years before that, he had one of the worst what we call Brady violations. In other words, as a prosecutor, he had exculpatory evidence that he did not provide the defense counsel. It's one of the worst cases in the Southern District of New York, one of the most extreme Brady violations that they had seen in recent history. You've had people come forward. Again, these are not Democrats. These are line prosecutors. These are former people who have served even in the first Trump administration, coming forward talking about how reckless and dangerous and how much disregard he has for the rule of law. And that should disqualify him, both with Republicans and Democrats.
It should. Let's go back, because the whistleblower claim, it's significant to come forward as a whistleblower, and it means you feel strongly about the risk of the person you're identifying poses. But you said there's others about Bove.
Well, I met with a lawyer representing someone that I think has pretty damning evidence, but there's so much fear, which is part of the Trump cash patel. What they want to do is they want to intimidate and threaten people. Look at what they're doing now with Comey. This is all a way to weaponize the law. If you stand up against us, if you speak against us, we will bring the full course of the law. And even if we don't win, we're going to destroy your lives by causing you hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal bills, reputational damages. We'll send a Twitter horde against you. And by the way, if you do what we want you to do, we'll pardon you from some of the worst crimes, like beating police officers within an inch of their lives.
Is this other whistleblower or whistleblowers? Is it whistleblower or whistleblowers?
I don't want to go too far.
Okay, but is it the same details or,
no.
or different details about things Bove has said?
Yes, I think this is a person who his testimony is in question, and people heard his public testimony and now are saying, wait a minute, I have again receipts to show that this is not what he said, this is not what he did, really casting a shadow over his testimony. And we're trying to give people, not just even in this case, but this is the Trump administration writ large, we're trying to give people confidence that if they come forward, we will do everything we can to protect them.
That is a hard argument to make right now, given they are strategically trying to dismantle. And I just talked a bit about this, right? There are whistleblower protections in government, but it seems the Trump administration is strategically trying to dismantle them. And I say that so people are aware, not to scare anyone. What do you make of this nomination of Paul Ingrassia, who I just talked about, I know you're familiar with? That is a key role where whistleblowers within government would typically go to that person.
Yes. I mean, Trump is hiring people based not upon their qualifications, not upon their past, wrongs that they've done. He wants loyalty and fierce loyalty. And so we're seeing people come before us that are not just unqualified, but that are dangerous to the protections, not of just our federal employees, but dangerous to the public at large. And when you see who he's had even in his cabinet positions, somebody like the Secretary of Defense, people that were involved in setting out in signal chains war plans, we're seeing people that are making Americans less safe, less secure, and frankly, putting people in a situation where the very things we want those government agencies or those positions to do, they're not going to be doing.
On Bove, I mean, you know your committee very well. You're also not a naive person in any way, shape, or form. This should all be disqualifying. The next step is in a week from today. Do you think there's any chance that the fact that he clearly, I think, lied under oath could pull any Republicans to not vote for him? Do you have any hope of that?
Yeah, I definitely have hope. We saw the ability to stop a few of the most egregious judges during Trump's first administration. Now, the consequences for Republicans that step out of line. I mean, here's a president right now saying, if you do not kill Mr. Rogers and Sesame Street, if you don't go after the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, I will run a primary against you. So we're seeing now that they are ready to go after their own if they step out of a line, even if it's a justifiable reason, like saying, again, Hegseth is not qualified. But there are a number of Republicans that we're going to go to who have said publicly that there are certain things they won't tolerate, like, you know, perjuring yourself potentially before the United States Senate.
This is a clear example of that. It's a test of it. Let me ask you, I mean, you are no stranger. Trump attacked you today,
Yes.
I believe, of Trump and people from the administration going after you. You're in elected office. You accept that, I know. What do you say to people? What is your message to whistleblowers or people whose stories are so important to tell about why they should do it now and what impact it could have?
You know, stand up and fight. We celebrate those heroes, whether it's Ruby Bridges or people in the civil rights movement who stood before Bull Connor. We are a nation that is where it is because of the courage of people to stand when it was not convenient to do so, to stand when the stakes were high. This is a moment in American history where people are going to know, where did you stand? And so I'm going to continue to fight. I don't care if this president calls me out every day, tweets me, threatens me. We know I've had open conversations with senators I never thought I would have because we saw what they've done with a congressperson, my congresswoman, Monica MacGyver, arresting her. My mayor, they've arrested. They're picking off, it seems, people that live in Newark that are in elected positions. But I don't care. Throw me in jail, do what you have to do. I'm going to continue to stand up what's right. And I'm hoping that when one person stands up and calls this out, it ignites the courage of another person and another person and another person. We have to, at a time that our fundamental rights and freedoms, that the very democracy that we know is precious, is under attack by this president, we've got to have more people willing to stand up and fight and take him on.
I will say, you don't even have to say it, I'll say it. The fact that you just had a massive record-breaking fundraising haul this past quarter should tell anybody out there running for office that standing up and not being fearful is something the public is looking for.
We want to show they're raising billions of dollars on that side. I want to show folks that when you stand up, and please go to corybooker.com and contribute to us. It not only helps me, but helps me help other candidates that are willing to fight, that may not have as much attention. And so we're going to do everything that we keep going. I hope folks will continue to support me.
Senator Booker, always love talking to you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much.